If you're going through a period right now where you're having a hard time going inwards or getting in touch with your intuition, this is a reading that is going to help you kind of understand maybe what is distracting you from that and also some things that can help. Let's dive in. For today's topic, we are going to be talking about the Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit is all about being solitary, going inwards, following your own wisdom, having time alone so that first of all you can get to know yourself, but also start following your own light. But this could go in so many directions. So I'm curious, what are we actually wanting to talk about? Let's have a look. Let's see what the tarot cards want us to think about. Interesting. Okay, the Nine of Wands. So together, this is telling a different story now. The Nine of Wands is all about defending something, defending yourself, resilience. And what I'm getting here is that maybe it's about defending your alone time, defending, all the maybe your practices that you do that make you be able to get in alone. Maybe it's about boundaries and setting up things so that you can say no. Maybe it's about, having to be more strong in or disciplined in doing things to be able to get there. Or maybe it's about setting up boundaries or being more firm in saying no to certain things, people, so that you can have time, so that you can focus on this. What's interesting too is that I find that the images are very similar. You have that light up here, and then up here at the top of this one, you have the moon. And moons in tarot have to do with our intuition. And I find that it's also about probably protecting your inner time, your solitary moment, so that you can actually listen to your intuition, get in touch with it. Because it's true that when we're in a very loud or chaotic world or society, when we're out and about and we don't have time to go inwards, well, we don't listen to that little voice so much. We can't even hear it. And so it's probably, I think that this reading, we're going to get into it, we'll see a little bit later, but I think it's about how can we protect this so that we can get in touch with our intuition. What I want to know now is what to look out for. What is it exactly that we're trying to protect ourselves from? Oh, okay, interesting. Now we get the Two of Wands. And when I first got these two cards, I thought that it was about defending yourself from other people, maybe people asking you to do things, or maybe it's all your kind of commitments that you already have or your responsibilities. But what I'm getting here is a little different. I actually think it's almost about defending yourself from yourself, because the Two of Wands is about future planning and kind of like, you have an idea and it's about making the plans to get there. And it's not a bad card. I usually love getting this card, but it is in the position of what to look out for. And what I'm getting here is that maybe what is keeping you from going inwards and being able to get in touch with your intuition is actually that you're spending too much time thinking about the future and thinking about your future plans. And I get it, that it's kind of a conundrum sometimes, because when we're working on ourselves, we both want to be tending to the future and also be in the present, be able to kind of go inwards and not only be focused on like the future. And so I think this is just pointing out that like at one point it's important to remember that sometimes future planning is good, but sometimes it can be a distraction. And sometimes if we have too many projects, too many dreams, or we're trying so much to be changing the present that we're not able to be present, well, we're not actually going to be in touch with our intuition. I also think there's another interesting thing here, is that this card is really also about looking outwards. It's about looking kind of like towards the horizon and seeing what is out there. And to me, this is also a reminder that actually the answers are inward, and that you keep distracting yourself by thinking you're going to find it somewhere else. Maybe you think somebody else is going to tell you, or maybe you think it's by doing one last thing, like, maybe you're working on yourself, maybe it's doing some breath work, or maybe it's doing all these things that you're trying to do. But what you really need to do is go inward. And so, I think this is the type of thing to watch out for right now. And it's interesting because it's actually things to watch out for from ourselves. So let's see now what could help you maybe find some ease right now in your going inwards. What can help you? Oh, actually 2 cards wanted to pop out. Interesting. we got the Father of Swords and the Mother of Wands. And straight away, what I'm getting here is that, to me, I think these are two personality traits of yourselves. And what I'm getting is that it's almost like you need to find a little bit more balance between the masculine and feminine side of yourself, because the masculine side sometimes is the one that just wants to go out and like plan and do all the action, but in a way sometimes you also need the more feminine side, which is more, about going inwards a little bit more. But now let's look at these two cards individually. We got the Father of Swords. The Father of Swords is somebody who is very logical and very able to kind of like see through things without getting lost too much in our emotions. And what I'm getting here is that, again, this card is not bad. Not all the future planning that you're doing is bad, but it's about maybe using your logic and, like your rational brain to think, okay, what is good and what is a distraction? What is something that is actually just like, in a way, keeping me from actually doing the real work? You know how sometimes we can think we're doing work, but it's, in a way, it's actually keeping us from doing it because we're concentrating maybe not on the right things. And so to me, it's about using your rational way of thinking about things, not getting too caught up in the emotions of it, and being very logical. I also think what's interesting here is we got the Mother of Wands, and she's somebody who's very passionate and creative, but I love also seeing in these two cards, it's almost like the colors of this card have been distilled and only the most essential ones have been kept. And it's almost as if the Mother of Wands has like gone through here and be like, okay, right now I'm going to concentrate on these. I'm going to leave these for later. And so to me, it's about making sure that you're kind of like concentrating not on everything at the same time, because again, this could be distracting you instead of helping you go inwards. And also what I think is so interesting is that she's protecting those eggs that she's, that have already hatched. It's not about the future. She's already planted some seeds. As we go about and we try to, plan for the future always, we've also done things in the past. And so it's important to actually nurture those first. And so what I'm getting here is really to use your rational mind and also kind of like distill the things that are kind of distracting to concentrate on just a couple, so that then you have more time and more focus and more energy to go inwards and to be able to defend that time. I mean, to be able to have more time and also be able to get in touch with your intuition. So I hope that if you're having a hard time right now getting more centered, getting more in touch with your intuition, following your own light, that this reading can help you to understand, to be careful sometimes with that tendency to always be looking outwards and always to be concentrating on the future. Remember to get back into the present and be with yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. And I get it. I sometimes don't want to be there either, but it really does help. So on that, I'm wishing you lots of love and lots of laughter, and I'll see you next video. Thanks so much for watching.